football at the end of the day is a part of an individual's life. It's not their entire life. So there could be various factors and there are various aspects that affect a person's life. Players are machines and they're expected to do well, but I feel like what goes unnoticed and what is not recognized is that field of sports is very demanding. It's very it's ever changing and it's so dynamic that it's very hard for players to stay sane. Much of anything can be harming and it can be dangerous and it can take a toll over you. So morning, evening, we're talking football, we're eating football, we're playing football, we're in the gym, we're working out, and if we get to go anywhere, it's back to our room. So I feel like it's hard because you don't get to see your loved ones. Everyone in the team as well is in the same situation and they're going through the same thing, because we have seen over time since August we have all been together and we have had those situations where the general team performance, we have seen it has gone down just because that everybody had got a negative, because we couldn't step out of the hotel and all we could do was go to probably each other's room in the hotel, and again we're in between four walls. There's no way to calm yourself down or to just enjoy fresh air or except for the ground of course, but again you're playing football there. But I feel like the bubble life is hard, and that is the way it has taken a toll, because physically when you're exhausted, that physical exhaustion starts taking over your mental exhaustion as well, and I feel like it gets very exhausting after a point of time. It was during the camp in September. It had already been a month into our national preparation camp, and again we were in a bubble, we couldn't see anybody, and we had been playing games every weekend, and there was one game that did not quite go as well. And again, part of the game, there are good days and bad days, and that started to take a toll over our performances in practice sessions as well, or how focused everybody was. So I spoke to the manager of the team and I told her that listen, this is what is happening, everybody's thinking only about negatives, but there are so many positives to take from the games that we have played. After talking to the manager, I asked her if I could do an activity, a sports psychology activity, in a way that that would bring again positivity and optimism in the camp. It was a very simple activity where on the A4 sheets just the pictures of all the players were pasted and their names were written on top. And I just pasted all of those sheets around our meeting hall, and I gave everybody pens, and everybody got their pens, colorful pens. So in a given time, all everyone had to do was just go around the room, just write something positive about that person anonymously. In a given amount of time, everybody went around, everybody wrote positive things, the sheets were full, and after the activity, all of us just sat around in a circle, and just randomly people were picked up to talk about what they liked the most, which comment they liked the most and why, and everybody shared their experiences. It is said that players are machines and they're expected to do well, but I feel like what goes unnoticed and what is not recognized is that field of sports is very demanding. It's very it's ever changing, and it's so dynamic that it's very hard for players to stay sane, because all that people see is what comes on the TV play on the television, or whenever everybody just sees my games, but nobody sees how many times I've cried in my room, how many times I have ranted to my parents, how many times I've asked for help, because at the end of the day you're human, and like I said, it's a part of your life and it's not your entire life.